Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, Browns fans. What if I told you that a seismic shift is quietly taking place in the AFC North, one that could redefine the division's landscape for years to come? And it all hinges on a blockbuster move that involves none other than Deshaun Watson. That's right, the Cleveland Browns, a team that's been star-studded with talent, but has faced some serious questions at quarterback, might be on the verge of a historic change. And it's a move that could shake the very foundation of the AFC North, an unexpected twist that could propel the Browns back into Super Bowl contention, or, at the very least, reshape the division's power balance. But let's unpack how we got here, what it means for Cleveland, and why this could be one of the most exciting developments in recent NFL history. First, let's set the stage with a quick overview of the current quarterback situation, not just for Cleveland but across the league. The Browns, as many of you know, have a roster packed with talented quarterbacks like Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. But the name that stands out still, after all the ups and downs, is Deshaun Watson. Remember, Watson was acquired with high hopes, especially after his MVP-caliber seasons with the Houston Texans. He was supposed to be the piece that takes Cleveland to the promised land. However, last season was riddled with uncertainty. He began the season on the physically unable to perform list, battling back from an Achilles tear that he suffered during the previous season. Not only that, but he faced setbacks in his rehab, which sparked plenty of questions about whether he'd be ready for this year's campaign. And let's be honest, if you've been following the Browns, you know how critical Watson's health and performance are to their Super Bowl aspirations. The team remade their quarterback room, bringing in talent like Joe Flacco and drafting or developing other options, but everything has always pointed back to Watson. When he was placed on the PUP list, many fans thought that his season might be over before it even started. Yet, recent reports and videos tell a different story. Deshaun has been posting clips of himself working through rehab, dropping back to pass, and even sprinting full speed with no issues. It's a promising sign, a glimmer of hope that Watson could be back on the field sooner rather than later. And that's where the plot thickens. If Watson continues his recovery at this pace, the Browns will face some difficult but necessary decisions. Do they keep him on the roster, hoping he'll be their franchise quarterback once again? Do they cut ties, which seems unlikely given his talent and contract? Or do they explore a trade, possibly to a team that's desperate for a quarterback upgrade? And that's where the Arizona Cardinals come into play. As you all know, Arizona has been struggling at quarterback since Kyler Murray's injury. Murray has had his moments, but overall, his consistency and decision-making have raised eyebrows. A recent panel of NFL insiders, including general managers and coaches, ranked him as the 15th best quarterback in the league, placing him firmly in what's called the Tier 3 category. That's a quarterback who's a legitimate starter but needs a lot of supporting pieces to really succeed. And honestly, for the Cardinals, that's not enough to contend in today's NFL. So, what does this mean for Arizona? Well, they're at a crossroads. Murray, despite flashes of brilliance, just isn't the long-term answer they hoped for. His struggles, combined with a coaching staff that's under pressure to turn things around quickly, make a trade not just a possibility but perhaps an inevitability. And here's where the Browns' situation becomes crucial. If Cleveland decides to move Watson, they could look to the Cardinals as a potential trade partner. After all, Arizona needs a quarterback who can lead them now, and Watson, if healthy and back to his MVP form, fits that bill. The risk, of course, is significant. Watson's performance over the last few seasons has been inconsistent, marred by injuries and off-field issues. But the upside? Well, it's enormous. A return to MVP-level play could transform the Browns from playoff contenders into legitimate Super Bowl favorites. Now, imagine the scenario. Cleveland, with its star-studded roster, including players like Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, and others, makes a bold move and trades for Watson. This isn't just about filling a hole, it's about signaling to the league that they're all in. It's about setting a tone that they believe Watson can still be that franchise quarterback who can elevate the team to new heights. For Arizona, acquiring Watson might be the best shot they have at salvaging their season and giving themselves a shot at relevance again. It's a gamble, for sure, but in today's NFL, sometimes you have to take bold risks to achieve greatness. And if Watson returns to his top form, the Cardinals could be the biggest winners in this equation. Of course, the decision isn't just about talent. It's about trust, potential, and the willingness to roll the dice. The Browns have rebuilt their team, focusing on strong defense, a solid running game, and young talent. But without a dependable quarterback, all that work might be for nothing. That's why this potential trade, if it happens, could be the missing piece that finally puts the Browns over the top. And for Cleveland fans, it's a thrilling prospect, knowing that your team might be on the verge of making a bold statement in this NFL season. As we look ahead, the NFL landscape is in flux. Teams are jockeying for position, and the AFC North in particular is about to get even more competitive. The Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, they're all watching carefully. But in the middle of this, the Browns might have found their ace in the hole. A fully healthy Deshaun Watson, returning to his MVP form, could be the catalyst for a deep playoff run. And if that's the case, expect the entire league to take notice. The Browns aren't just looking to compete, they're aiming to dominate. So what's next? Well, we're all watching closely. The trade discussions, the rehab updates, the strategic moves, it all culminates in what could be a historic season for Cleveland. Fans, I know this is exciting news, and it's just the beginning. Keep your eyes peeled because if this trade goes through, it could be one of the most talked about stories of the NFL season. The Browns are on the cusp of something big, and if they pull this off, they'll be remembered as one of the most daring and bold franchises in recent history. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This season promises to be one of the most exciting in a long time, and with moves like this potentially on the horizon, the Browns are setting the stage for a roller coaster ride that none of us want to miss. Whether Watson gets traded, returns to full health, or if the team makes other bold moves, one thing is certain: Cleveland is ready to make some noise, and we're here to bring you every detail along the way. Thanks for sticking with us, Browns fans. Let's keep the passion alive, and as always, go Browns.